Hey viewers, and welcome back to another episode of Kyle's Best Reviews, the series where you people decide which anime film should I review. And the options in the poll are Epic, Finding Nemo, the Sonic the Hedgehog, the Lego Movie, and the Transformers the movie. And you people chose Sonic the Hedgehog. And if there's anything that I learned from this poll is to never underestimate the Sonic fan base. I'm just going to start this review off and say that, yes, I am a Sonic fan myself. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan like most other people are. I'm just more of a casual fan and quite fond of the Sonic franchise, mostly similar to Mario, of course. I did get some good old flashbacks and knowledge of Sonic with like some of the TV series like Sonic Boom and Sonic Prime, to even some of the other games like Sonic Unleashed and even Sonic Mania. And yes, I even did Sonic Forces, and I did enjoy like the gameplay and even like the villain Infinite was an okay one at best. But for like the other parts, like the cutscenes, the dialogue, and the voice acting, they can be laughably bad. Well, it can ruin the anticipation that most Sonic fans will have having to see how Sonic Forces will come up, I suppose. But if you want to know about the other Genesis games, like with Sonic 06 and others, we don't talk about them. But enough about the games and series. This is about the film, and that is what this review is all about. So, yeah, this is the film that started with the cinematic Sonic franchise, where we got ourselves a sequel, an upcoming Knuckles spin-off series, and even a third film, which is also upcoming as well. But now we've gone back in time, and with the film that started it all, did this film give off a brand new start of what's about to come in the future? The plot of the film is based around the blue hedgehog himself named Sonic, where he lives most of his life around in the Green Hill as the human world due to an incident back when he was a little child. And while things were going fine for him, one incident happened and the government started to notice that this creature that they so-called know exists, so they decided to hire Dr. Robotnik to take over the job in order to track down Sonic. And then when Sonic hears about this, he teams up with the cop of the town named Tom in order to make sure that he get from point A to point B, to make sure Dr. Eggman doesn't come close to them, while Sonic is trying to get his rings to go to a safe place called Mushroomland. And while Sonic and Tom also have a slow piece of bonding while they try to go through the journey. And as simple as this film is, I got to say that the film does it to a fault. I'm sorry, Sonic fans, but the biggest problem I have with the film is that when you take away the Sonic aspect, it doesn't really show off much. It's mostly just about the characters going from point A to point P, and it's quite predictable from beginning to end, in which doesn't really help either, where it doesn't really give off a whole lot on how the Sonic energy works in the film, which makes the plot very basic and nothing too special. Sure, the Super Mario Bros. Movie did have the same plot as well, where it kind of feels a bit generic at times. But what made the movie work is that it symbolizes on what it knows about the franchise, it's with the world building and what it's used for. And it is spent a lot more on the Mario aspect, more so on the live action aspect, that does give the fans a lot more on what they want. In the Sonic movie, however, all there is Sonic and Eggman, and that's it, which is enough to make this a so-called of a Sonic movie. So there's not really much I could actually say that can actually defend this film for. And there's also the humor, which of course the humor is obviously delivered by Jim Carrey's his outstanding roles as Dr. Robotnik, where he can actually make this film as funny as possible, since of his other roles like with the Grinch and the Mask. And sure, it can be a bit off-putting at times, since you're mostly just getting used to Jim Carrey's cunning abilities if you're a bit annoyed by his acting roles. But if you're always a fan of Jim Carrey, then you would definitely enjoy him as Eggman. I even give the same thing for Ben Schwartz's Sonic, where he actually did a great job doing more of the humor of the film around the same ranks as Jim Carrey's, not as much as his, but at least a solid one. But as funny as Sonic and Eggman are with the jokes, the other jokes in this film don't really land as much as they hope to do. which is just how I feel, of course. But of course, this is really a film isn't the type of story to be taken seriously, since it is giving fans on what they want. And even if it won't give out much and compared to the sequel, it will still give off something to actually make the fans a lot more enjoyed by this film. Is it a great plot? No. But it is what it is, and it gives for fans what they want. And if they enjoy it, then the film can work that to its advantage. Characters, they may have some good traits, but it's not really enough to actually help the film much at times as all. I'll give the short. I will say that again. They do have some other traits in them that actually do make them quite funny and quite emotional. But yet again, they after like the same roles that are put in family-friendly live-action hybrids like this. Starting off with Sonic, he's the lonely blue hedgehog that's tried to hide his powers so that other people won't use them for their own greedy, selfish needs. At least on how he sees it in his point of view. And sure, he may seem like the typical outcast role where he's mostly trying to look for a home and actually for a friend, and so that way he won't feel like he's the public's enemy. But I'll give Ben Schwartz that he did put up a solid performance as Sonic and can actually have some nice humor to the film, at least at some present times. And even for when Sonic stumbles upon the chief of the town named Tom, he's soon become the next chief of San Francisco. But after stumbling upon Sonic, he does team up with him in order to form a bond as well. But the big problem I have with Tom is that he's mostly doing the same role as he did back in Illumination's Top, where instead of with the Easter Bunny, it's replaced with Sonic. You can start to see the similarities between the two now, don't you? And other side characters besides the villains don't really help much either, like with Maddie being like the love of Tom, and even for Rachel, well, sure, she's generic, but I'll give her that she does have some funny jokes in the film that actually can give out a good laugh. Even if she did have a big improvement in the sequel though. And then there's the main villain of the film, Dr. Robotnik, played by none other than Jim Carrey. Well, he is obviously the best part of the film itself. Well, Jim Carrey is having his time of his lives and having the most best energetic role since The Grinch and The Mask. And whenever he speaks, there's a good chance you might get a laugh and a funny moment out of him that can make the film iconic itself. I'll even give to the other character, Agent Stone, where he does have some pretty funny scenes whenever he's involved with Eggman. So in conclusion, for the characters, they may seem like your generic roles that just does what they do to move the plot forward and give the film some bit of humor, but that's the thing I can say about them. They do move the plot forward and give us some funny moments which can help the film out at times, so at least they do the job well. But the one thing that most people would want to see the Sonic the movie for, besides Sonic and Eggman themselves, is the visuals, especially how they improve compared to 2019. Well, starting off with the CGI on Sonic as well, he had a very understandable upgrade where he has a lot more of a look compared to the cartoon realms of like the games, while giving himself a more of a theatrical look and feel to him, a bit similar to the Mario characters redesigns in the film itself. And to be fair, this Sonic design is the biggest is pretty much a tolerable reason as to why he became this after looking at the 2019 version. But besides Sonic, there's also Eggman, where he has his own CGI, not by him, but his robots and his technology, which can give out like a nice technical sci-fi like feel to it to know what type of robots and technology will pop up next, which can be quite creative in himself. Especially with the action scenes, where you have the right amount of comedic sides and also some intense sides. Well, the comedic side is mostly true like the bar scenes, while the most of the intensity comes from Eggman and Sonic, of course. And before I end the visuals off here, is it just me, or does Sonic's run in CGI look way better than the Flash run in CGI? Well, if Warner Bros. Can't do well in run in CGI, then I guess Paramount will do the job a lot better. In conclusion, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie isn't really the film that's trying to satisfy the critics, and it can be a bit quite flawed with a weak story and little to no character development with some of the cast characters and all that. But it does make up for it with some very neat visuals compared to the 2019 version, some engaging action scenes, some decent voice acting, and some emotional tones that can give out some some decent emotional scenes and some funny humor. And if you're a Sonic fan, then you would definitely enjoy this film. But if you're not, then that would depend on your viewing. But for me, then I can comparing this film like with the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's not really a film to be a masterpiece. It's just what it wants to be. And if that's enough for you, then you'll get a heck of a time out of this. Which is the same way I got out of this one, which is decent, so I'll give it a seal of good. But it's not really supposed to be a theatrical masterpiece. It's the film that it wants to be. Nothing else can be said. Now, if you people are wondering what the next review shall be, that's for you people to decide. All you have to do is go to the community post on my channel, and you have to choose one of the films in the post that you want me to review. Or there could be another option where you could suggest an animated feature into the description in the Google Docs, where you can suggest to me an animated film, and I can put down to the spinner wheel, and it could land on that, and you could be a lucky lad. But of course, since we're going to community post option for this time, the suggestions for the reviewing next time are Inside Out, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, Superman, Red Sun, The Incredibles, and Turbo. Oh, that's all I can say though. Thanks for watching, and this is Kyle's Web Entertainment.